Hello everyone, this is the fifth and final video discussing social engineering. Political correctness has been a source of much debate in recent years. On the one hand, it is understood to refer to attempt to reduce or eliminate language that can be interpreted as discriminatory or exclusionary. Moreover, it has been argued that political correctness has caused people to become so focused on avoiding offense that they cannot engage in meaningful dialogue on important topics. So some people feel that the restriction imposed by political correctness have limited the range of possible conversation, resulting in a lack of meaningful engagement in the public sphere. However, others point out that by allowing open and respectful dialogue about sensitive topics, political correctness has enabled more diverse voices to be heard in public discourse. Political correctness is a complicated issue that requires careful consideration from all sides. It is important to remember that political correctness aims to create a healthy dialogue and environment in which everyone can feel comfortable. This means that conversations should be respectful and that words and terms should be chosen carefully so that no one feels marginalized or discriminated against. I'm laughing because sometimes it goes above and beyond. While it is true that political correctness can act as a barrier to specific conversation, it can also provide a valuable framework for understanding how to engage in respectful discourse. It is important to remember that not everyone will agree on the same terms or definitions, so it is essential to be open to understanding different viewpoints. Political correctness can also foster a sense of inclusion and understanding between people and varied backgrounds and identities. Ultimately, it is essential to remember that political correctness is not about censoring conversation or impeding free speech. Still, it is about creating an environment where everyone can feel respected and heard. So, political correctness was created in the 70s at La Sorbonne and was really brought back full-blown after 9/11 by George W. Bush. So what should we change about political correctness? Political correctness has been a hot topic of debate in recent years. At its core, political correctness is intended to create a more tolerant and inclusive public discourse, but it can also suppress speech and create an oppressive environment. As such, it is crucial to consider the implication of political correctness and what changes should be made to ensure that it is not weaponized against certain people. One potential difference is ensuring people are held accountable for their words and action, not just their intention. This would ensure that people are not just judged solely based on how their words and actions are perceived, but on what happened. So we cancel people left and right because they said one thing that doesn't sit well with people, and then they get their career destroyed, their life imploded, and it's really terrible. So it is essential to ensure that political correctness does not lead to censorship or censorship-like tactics. This will allow for more open and honest dialogue between people of different backgrounds and opinions without fear of repercussion. So if you don't think the way I do, I'm going to call your job and get you fired. If I don't like the way you think, I'm going to tell everybody in the neighborhood so nobody talks to you. Finally, it is vital to ensure that political correctness is not used to silence marginalized voices. Political correctness can be tricky to navigate, often leaving people feeling uncomfortable or misunderstood. It is crucial to create an open dialogue so people can express themselves without fear of judgment or censorship. Doing so will help promote a more inclusive and equitable society where everyone's opinion and contribution are heard. We should strive to foster an environment that encourages critical thinking and respectful debate, where no one is shamed for their views. You don't think like me, but I'm not going to want to come after you for that. This means taking time to listen to each other, understanding from each other's perspective, even though it might be different from ours. We should seek to understand each other rather than assume or judge. Ultimately, it is essential to recognize the power of language and how it can shape our conversations and create meaningful change. Political correctness is vital in achieving this, but it should not be used to silence others. The idea of political correctness first hit the public conscience in the late 1980s, when the phrase politically correct was first used. In its early days, the term was generally used in a humorous or ironic sense, but by the early 90s, it was becoming an increasingly severe issue. It's unclear who invented political correctness, though, as I said, I think it originated at La Sorbonne in France in the 70s, but it is believed to have originated in the United States, which is actually not true. The rise of cultural Marxism. Cultural Marxists sought to create an egalitarian society by removing any reference to race, class, gender, and other cultural identifiers that could lead to a discrimination or oppression. As a concept of political correctness spread worldwide, it began to be used as a tool to censor or control language to ensure no one was offended. While some argue that this kind of censorship is necessary to ensure mutual respect, others say that it stifles the expression of ideas and doesn't allow to proper debate. In recent years, political correctness has become a significant topic of discussion. As I said, the term used is often used to describe language or behavior and considered to be respectful or not. So now we watch how we speak to people, how we use the pronouns we used, and one word can mean one thing to a group and not to another, and everybody gets offended fairly easily nowadays. Many people are questioning, though, the dangers of political correctness. I'm one of them. The main point of contention is that it is viewed as a way of censoring language and restricted freedom of speech. Depending on who uses the term, one term can be used by one group and mean one thing and by another group mean something else. So being unable to express one thought freely without fear of repercussion is a significant concern for many people. It is argued that political correctness can lead to a lack of critical thinking and open-mindedness and create a false sense of morality. So I think one word is, my definition is better than your definition. Additionally, some believe it can be used to push a particular agenda or ideology, leading to an atmosphere of censorship and oppression. So I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I really want to explain why political correctness can be dangerous. It is essential to consider political correctness implication and ensure that it's not used to restrict open and honest conversation about important topics. The importance of living and letting live is an idea that has been around for centuries. This idea suggests that allowing things to take their natural course is often better than trying to control them. The philosophy of live and let live can be applied to many areas, from personal relationship to global politics. Of course, if you see somebody who's hurting someone, you want to not let them live, but we're talking about freedom of living your life the way you intend to live it when it's not bothering anybody else. So on a personal level, living and let live can help us to enjoy a healthier relationship with our family, friends, and colleagues. Giving others the space to express themselves and be themselves can lead to a greater sense of security and acceptance. This can also be beneficial in areas such as business, where allowing people to work autonomously can lead to increased creativity, productivity, and success. So if you micromanage somebody and you get in their face every 5 minutes, they probably won't be as productive. On a global level, living and letting live provides greater understanding and cooperation between nations. Living and letting live also means that your neighbor doesn't believe in marriage, and your other neighbor believes in not having children, and you respect that. You don't force your views on them. We can foster a more peaceful and stable world by respecting different cultures, beliefs, and traditions. As human beings, our greatest asset is our diversity. We should all be open to learning, accepting, and respecting the values and customs of others, even those that differ from our own. That doesn't mean that if you're racist or if you're sexist, that it's okay. It means that you let people live according to their own values. So if your neighbor wants to, believes in being naked in his own house, you don't go tell him that he should put on clothes. You let him live the way he wants. But if he starts telling you that one group should not be, part of our country, then that becomes a problem. So this mentally encourages people to show tolerance and understanding for those who are different from themselves. It can help us recognize the beauty in diversity and puts us on the path to creating a more harmonious world. There are many ways to apply this concept. We can open our minds, hearts to different cultures, customs, and belief, and strive to embrace cultural differences in our daily lives. We can also learn to celebrate diversity by supporting the communities we are part of and engaging in positive dialogue with those from different backgrounds. Taking this idea to heart, we can create a more respectful, peaceful, harmonious world. Respect for the beliefs and traditions of others is essential for the advancements of our society and promotion of peace. But coming back to social engineering, sometimes people will socially engineer a threat, say this group is dangerous, or that group believes in that value that's not an appropriate value, or people will talk about the gays, or will talk about women, reproductive rights, or will talk about marriage, and there will be a narrative behind that. And the social engineering is how we put a view and we start moralizing what's right and wrong based on one's personal beliefs. So political correctness is not speaking for the group. Political correctness is, in my idea, should be about respecting people's freedom and having, creating a space where people can come together and be themselves. And when we can foster a dialogue, that if somebody says, I don't like this, and the other person says, I like it, they can talk about it without becoming belligerent toward each other. As I wanted to state again, it is never okay to take away people's freedom away from them just because you don't agree with it. It becomes a problem if somebody's freedom impacts your ability to live your life the way you want to. So somebody is doing something that affects the public, where they do things that are really offensive in the sense that it's a threat to the community. It makes sense. But just because somebody doesn't believe in something you believe in doesn't mean that they should not have the right to say it. Okay. Subscribe to my channel. I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you very much for watching.